full of hope, written by Zig Ziglar. I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you future and hope. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. The prophet Jeremiah shared this message from the Lord after the people of Israel had experienced crushing disappointments. God wanted to remind them that He is the author of peace and hope. Our dreams can take a beating too. We get excited when we feel that God has called us to do something important, then find we may not be ready to face the inevitable setbacks and criticism. We end up getting discouraged and wanting to quit. For some of us, delays in fulfilling our dreams throw cold water on our enthusiasm. Instead of persevering, we become distracted by other things, often good things, and we lose focus on the thing God had burned into our hearts. Our impatience short-circuits the plan, and we settle for less than God's best. Keep in mind that the enemy of the best is settling for something good. Imagine how refreshing God's words were when Jeremiah spoke them to the people. He reminded them that they weren't alone. God hadn't abandoned them. They had experienced severe problems, and had doubted Him again and again. But in His great grace, God would even weave their problems into His plans for them. God's faithfulness is never dependent on our perception of our current situation. Most of the greatest leaders we find in the Bible went through times of struggle and doubt. Abraham lied about his wife to save his own skin. Moses gave up on God and hit the rock to get water for the people. Peter proclaimed his loyalty to Jesus, and a few hours later denied Him 3 times. But God reminded each of them of the hope they could have in their future, because He is faithful and forgiving. As long as there is hope in the future, we'll have power in the present to persevere. Are you discouraged that God's vision for your life doesn't seem to be making headway? What do God's words of hope mean to you today? That the Almighty does make use of human agencies, and directly intervenes in human affairs, is one of the plainest statements in the Bible. I have so many evidences of His direction, so many instances when I have been controlled by some other power than my own will, that I cannot doubt that this power comes from above. Abraham Lincoln.